Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Magnus, welcome. Let me just start by asking a question dealing with sanctuary cities. You served 10 years in the California Bay Area next to San Francisco, which is a well-known sanctuary city that flouts U.S. immigration law and refuses to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement agents. If confirmed, you'll oversee the enforcement of immigration law at our borders. Do you support sanctuary cities, and what message do sanctuary cities send to those seeking to enter the United States illegally?
Senator, thank you for the question. As a chief for 2 decades, my first and foremost priority has always been public safety. And so I appreciate how decisions around sanctuary cities are ultimately political decisions. But as a police chief, and certainly in this position were it to be confirmed, my first and primary obligation is to follow the law. That's what I've done always in the past, and that's what I would commit to doing going forward.
Let me follow up on the question that Senator Cornyn raised, and this is similar, I think, in some respects to sanctuary cities, but the Biden administration is circumventing immigration law and issuing these so-called notices to report. And leaked documents show that there are tens of thousands of migrants that have been admitted to the United States with few legal requirements other than to check in with immigration and customs enforcement wherever and whenever they reach their destination in the States. Do you believe that lax enforcement of our immigration laws intensify those pull factors for immigrants, for migrants who are seeking entry into the United States?
Senator, thank you for the question. As we discussed, I think that the issue of notice to appear is something that we want to achieve in any manner we can, certainly by our different agencies working together, by having more asylum officers and immigration judges. This is not a new challenge in many ways. It has been true in multiple administrations, and it's going to take, for the most part, a congressional fix, because we really do have a broken system. And unfortunately, there continue to be very long waits for court dates in order to get people appropriately processed. So until those things can be resolved, I fear that we're going to continue to be in a very difficult situation.
The system is broken. There's no question about that, and I think everybody will acknowledge that. All you have to do is look at the statistics here in the last few months. It's a staggering, frankly, just disintegration of the border. Really, for all intents and purposes, it has been described an open border, which creates all kinds of bad things. Bad things can happen in this country, but the wrong types of incentives. And this issue of not enforcing immigration laws that already exist, to me, is a major part of that. I understand your suggestion that we need to fix a broken immigration system, but we do have laws on the books that aren't being enforced. And what I'm simply trying to ask you is if you think that those not enforcing or lax enforcement of those immigration laws does intensify that pull factor. I mean, people come here, people respond to incentives. It's that simple. And if the incentives suggest that you can come here illegally and there's no consequence to that, then I think more people are going to come here illegally. Would you not agree with that?
Senator, I agree that enforcing the law is necessary and appropriate. The numbers are high. As a law enforcement official, I, again, will pledge to enforcing the law.
All right. Just very quickly, because my time's about out here, but on this supply chain issue, as you know, they've come under unprecedented strain. And we've got agricultural producers across the country, including in my home state of South Dakota, that continue to harvest their crops and worry that these supply chain constraints could threaten market access for their products. As Commissioner of the CPB, how would you work with the ports and their various stakeholders to improve fluidity and resolve this issue? And perhaps you could quickly touch on how some of these union rules play into that and are helping contribute to these systemic delays.
Senator, could not agree more that the supply chain, especially at the time we're in right now, is critical. And so addressing the movement of goods through the ports in any way possible to expedite that is something that is going to be very important. Obviously, this is going to require working with the port directors. It's going to require close relationships and continued work with groups like COAC and other business groups, both large and small. I don't think there's simple solutions, but if confirmed in this position, CBP is going to continue to work very hard around this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your time's expired.
Time has expired. Senator Cardin.